We chose this Edelbrock 2812 small block Victor manifold for a couple of reasons. One, we know that it'll work in the application. It's a single plane manifold. The cross-sectional area of the runners, you know, any of the manifolds that Edelbrock comes out with, you know, in this day and age, they're aware that you need a constant cross-sectional area in the runner. This manifold has that. It is matched to these Performer RPM heads. Some people would think that this engine, this manifold won't be very good for low-end torque or for street applications, but I used this on the original 2004 Engine Master Challenge engine, and let me tell you what, it makes torque down low. There's no issue there. So good manifold. We modified it for EFI, basically by welding in these bungs, and we keep track of our center to center distances of all these, so that when we machine our fast rails, we already know the dimensions and we put in the holes to match that, and everything lines up properly. So we'll set that on there right now. We're not going to glue the manifold on, because at a later date we're going to maybe powder coat the manifold or do something just to make it look nicer. So we're just going to set it on there for now, no silicone. But the motor has stock deck height, and it fits like it should fit. Okay, we're about to install our fast fuel injectors and our fast rail. These are 60 pound per hour injectors. Basically, the way that works is when you want to determine how much horsepower these are capable of, or how you select your injectors, basically it takes a ½ pound of fuel per hour per horsepower. So these happen to be 60 pound injectors. So if you take 60 pounds per hour times 8 injectors, that's 480 pounds per hour. You multiply that by 2, that's capable of 960 horsepower if they were 100% duty cycle. But they recommend that you use them at 90% of its capacity, or 90% duty cycle. So you subtract 10%, and 864 horsepower this will work with. So for our single turbo that we're using and all of these good parts, basically this whole deal is designed and engineered for 860 horsepower. So we're good to go. What I do is I put a little Vaseline or some sort of a lubricant on the O-rings. You don't want anything binding up. You want them just to slide right in. So you just put in your 8 injectors. Then those are ready to go. When we put these bungs in the manifold and put all the holes in the rails, we didn't just go and blindly put holes in the center of the runners. We calculated everything out so that the rails would line up side to side. You wouldn't have, you know, because the runners are staggered on, or actually the block deck is staggered, as you can see. So we mathematically calculated everything out so that the rails will be centered and nice and even, you know. And at that point, they should line up perfect. Yep. Fits like a glove. The fast rails do come in various different lengths, but at BTR we buy an oversized rail, and then just simply, as you can see on this side, this end here doesn't have any of the anodizing, so it was originally longer. We just cut it to length and machine it to fit so that it looks nice for the application.